Hi. So it had been my intention to vlog throughout the day like I usually do, but it's just been such a long and busy day. I usually try and make these little videos on my lunch break and on my little breaks and whatnot, but it's just been so rammed. And this is the thing about weekend on-call. Yeah, I'm just so tired. So some of the things that I've seen have been really interesting. So I have seen today a lady who presented with palpitations, had a very fast heart rate, no chest pain at all, not diabetic, no crushing central pain, and did an ECG, and she had ST depression. So that's an NSTEMI, so a non-ST elevation MI effectively. So we did the stuff like troponin and the ACS treatment for her. And I saw another lady who was post-op from a colorectal procedure, and she had post-op ileus, so she had the bilious vomiting and all of those kind of things. So post-op ileus, very, very common in surgical patients, not an uncommon presentation at all. MIs certainly less so, though we do often get people having similar sort of symptoms. And there's been everything in between effectively. So a lot of my workload as the ward doctor will be things like reviewing fluids, writing up medications, and one of the things that's specific to surgery will be things like sodium always seems to go out the window. So I've got a patient who's got very low sodium at the moment, and he's certainly experiencing some confusion. And post-op pain is a big one, so managing people's pain when they come out from theatre. And actually in orthopedics that's a really big thing, because like they say that hips are painful but knees are way, way, way more painful. And so often one of the jobs that I'll get sent is to come and review someone's pain medications, and often find that it's a communication thing, because you'll go over and the job will be to increase their pain meds because they're not achieving any degree of comfort and the pain's unmanageable. And you go over and you will notice that they have their regular pain meds written up, but then also the PRN, the as required pain meds. And if you look, before increasing anyone's pain meds, if you just have a look at what they've got PRN as required, you'll often notice that they're actually not having it anywhere near as many times as they can have it. So whenever I prescribe PRN meds now, especially about pain, I always have a little chat with the patient and I say, so, for example, I'm prescribing you short tech, and I'm going to give you a big dose and a small dose, and you can have these every 2 hours or 4 hours, whatever it is. And this is one that you ask the nurses for. It's not one that they will bring to you. So if you're in pain, make sure that you ask for some pain medications. And there are 2 doses. There's a little dose and a big dose. So if you think you need something but you don't want very much, because obviously there are side effects to pain medications, then you can ask for the small dose. But if you think I'm in a lot of pain, then I'm going to have the bigger dose, and that's fine too. And if you continually are having it every 2 hours or 4 hours, and then you still find that you're in pain, then at that point we would need to review and up your pain medications if that's the thing that we need to do. So that was the kind of conversation that I would have. And pain medications, when I first started foundation, that was one of the things that used to really scare me, because no one likes prescribing opioids when they first qualify as a doctor. It's one of those, you always think, what if I do too much? So the way I've found around that, and I think it's much better medicine, is to have a look and just make sure that they're optimizing what they've actually been prescribed before we go increasing it and giving them whacking great doses of morphine that they don't necessarily need. So it's the same old thing with medicine. It's always about communication. So yeah, pain is a huge thing. I've obviously been taking bloods. I've done 1 cannula today. Sometimes I'll do more. But I've been just so busy. I've done a lot of discharge summaries. This is the part of medicine that's really unglamorous, is that as a ward doctor, discharge summaries. It's the way that it is. So I am very, very tired now. So I've handed over, which is a beautiful feeling. I don't really like handing over lots of jobs to the night doctor, because I always think that the night doctor should do as little as possible, because they're tired and all of that stuff. So I hate handing over loads of jobs, but I have handed over loads of jobs today just because it's been just so busy. but hopefully he has a good night and I will take over back from him, you know, in the morning. So there we go, and we are at hour 13. I'm not sure how many steps I've done. I'm going to have a look when I'll drive home, and then I'll have a look how many steps I've done, and I'll tell you how many I've done, and then we're going to start tomorrow, which is another 13 hours and my last ever day as a foundation doctor. Good morning, it's the start of day 2. I've got 13 hours of my on-call. I'm hoping that today is a much better day in terms of being a bit quieter, so I'll hopefully update you as I go. Well, it's, you know, break time. I've had a very junior doctory day of, you know, ward round and bloods and writing in bloods and chest x-rays and all of that stuff. It has been slower than yesterday though, which has been great because yesterday was crazy. I'm very ready not to be a ward doctor anymore. So I just finished foundation, and some of the things that I've done today have been, you know, all the stuff that I was doing yesterday. So bloods, I saw a patient with low sodium, and if it gets very low, it can cause things like seizures, coma, you know, confusion before you get to any of those. So if it's above 125, it's not too bad. If it's, you know, 125 or above, that's where you tend to start to see problems. The thing that's tricky for a foundation doctor about low sodium is the treatment pathways differ based on, you know, the fluid status effectively. So I had a couple of learning points about the treatment, and, you know, based on, you know, whether someone is euvolemic or hypovolemic. So I'm always learning as a foundation doctor, always learning. And that's one of the things that I really love as a doctor. And I have just ceremonially removed the foundation year 2 lanyard, which you probably see me wearing all the time when I'm at work. And here we go, I've just finished foundation, and what can I say about 2 years of foundation? It has been a learning experience. So I worked full time for almost all of it. I got all the way to May before I went off, and it's only been the last 12 weeks I've done less than full time. So I've really worked full time as a foundation doctor rather than part time. And it's been hard. It has been really, really hard. There was a moment when I was on medicine back in January when I was working full time and I was on RAU, and I felt like I never left the hospital, and it was completely horrendous. But other than that, I found, you know, working as a foundation doctor to be, in terms of hours, relatively fine. You know, I've done the nights, I've done the weekends, the long days, and here we are. I don't know what else to say, to be honest. I'm just pleased to be at the end. I'm pleased that another day has ended. I am glad to be leaving foundation behind and leaving, hopefully, ward doctor behind. But I'm grateful for everything that I've learned. I really am not the same doctor. I'm not the same person I was when I started foundation. And I remain humble because there's always stuff to learn in every situation. And I'm going to hopefully be like that for the rest of my career. And I'm happy to take any questions anyone has about foundation. If there's anything that you think I haven't covered in the last 2 days that you'd like to know about, then please send me your messages.